Hello everybody, San your engineer, MBA, and investor. And in today's video, I want to talk about Beam Therapeutics, latest earnings report, of course, second quarter of 2023. And they published this on the 8th of August. Clearly, I'm very late with this video. But like I mentioned in the last video, one video a week results in me being late with news. But I think it's always a good idea to cover these news, even though we're a couple of weeks out, only because I think a lot of people are busy doing other things. And I think a lot of our viewership are average folks that are, day jobs, they got families, they got other things to do. And I think it's a good idea to cover something like this news here in a verbal format, as opposed to expecting individuals to sort of, read x.com or read Reddit for news and basically go through literature and go through YouTube videos of, legacy media. I think it's better to have folks just watch our videos, so you get that CRISPR knowledge embedded. Anyhow, so we take a look at the Beam Therapeutics highlights of Q2 2023. Beacon trial, B101, sickle cell disease progressing with consented patients projected and initiate expansion cohort. First patient consented in phase 1, phase 2 of Beam 201, expected to be dosed in the third quarter of 2023. Company to accelerate development of 302, now expected to be the first in vivo liver regulatory filing of the first quarter of 2024. So that's just in a couple of months, guys. Well capitalized, $1.1 billion cash. I did not know Beam Therapeutics had this much money. We'll take a look just shortly how we got there to this point. But before we do that, the first half of 2023 has been marked by focus execution across the business with singular goal of making an impact of the lives of people suffering from serious diseases, says John Evans, of course, CEO of Beam Therapeutics. We are pleased with the continued enrollment progress of Beacon trial. Of course, that's a Beam 101 program. Having now consented enough patients projected to both fill the Sentinel cohort and to initiate the expansion cohort. In addition, Beam 201 trial is now open for enrollment at multiple clinical sites. We'll fast forward here, and it says here Beam 302, a potential best-in-class product candidate for patients with alpha-1 antitrypsin trypsin deficiency and not prioritizing a Beam 302 regulatory filing in the first quarter of 2024 as their first in vivo program. So again, you guys gotta remember, base editing is what Beam Therapeutics is mostly known for. They're not known for in vivo. They're more known for base editing, which means the first two program we just took a look at does ex vivo. But of course 302 does in vivo. So a clinical manufacturing capability in North Carolina is anticipated to be CGMP ready for both cell manufacturing and LNP manufacturing this year. So that means like in the next 2 months, basically 3 months will be ready. Finally, Beam is well capitalized to the next waves of growth, of course, for R&D. All right, so let's go straight into this. This is pretty cool. This is pretty good for a couple of good news here, but the big question. I mean, you can use these fancy terms like, consented enough patients and both filled the Sentinel cohort, but where's the data? I don't see any data here, right? If we're going to talk about how amazing base editing is from, on monkeys and on rats, and show me the data on humans, right? I think that's what a lot of people, including CRISPR Tommy. I haven't seen the CRISPR Tommy video in a while. I don't know if he even does any more videos. I know he's been on x.com here and there, but I haven't seen any videos from him. So it's a shame because I learned a lot from him. From CRISPR side of things. But anyhow, we take a look at the cash position, $1.1 billion. That's pretty good, guys. That is really good. R&D actually increased year over year for about 20 million here, over 20 million. And G&A stayed about the same. The cash runaway. take a look at here. At least 2025. That's without doing anything, right? That's doing anything at all. No additional funding, no additional deals with other companies, with other programs they have in the pipeline, no funding diluting their stock in the public markets, which we all know these companies are going to do at some point in the next few months, few quarters, rather. For sure, they're going to do it. They did it in 2021. There's no reason for them to do it once stocks start picking back up. All right, so the recent Nature Genetics preclinical publication suggests base editing enables more uniform HbF upregulation than nuclease editing. So looks like when it comes to fetal hemoglobin, red blood cells, and remember that's more relevant to sickle cell disease, looks like this is much more efficient than your traditional CRISPR-Cas9, the sickle cell disease, for example, that CRISPR Therapeutics is trying to get approved, which is great to hear this, but then it goes back to the obvious question, where is the data for Beam 101? I think a lot of people at this point just want to see the data. That's all we want to see. I mean, if I go here and I go back and I look at science, I look at presentation, I don't see any data, guys. And until we don't see data, I think a lot of us investors, and don't get me wrong, I am an investor in Beam Therapeutics, so this is not coming from me trying to push this company down. This is coming more from an angle that I think as an investor, as a shareholder, we would like to see data, human data. We would like to see that. I mean, look, the great thing about this quarter is that they confirmed what a lot of people sort of expected this company to have, which is a high balance sheet when it comes to cash. But the problem is, again, we have no data. I like these timelines for Beam 201. I like these timelines for Beam 201 because look, it's expected to be dosed in the 2023. But for Beam 101, what is going on? I mean, I need more data, guys. I need more data. I need data. I need human data. I need to get this through. I understand you can put all these things into play and describe it however you want by using pretty word like Sentinel cohort. But ultimately, I need data, right? And I think for a company that has this much cash in the balance sheet, that has this much potential when it comes to base editing, that has this much social media hype, I think it's a little bit of embarrassing that we're nearing the end of 2023, starting 2024, and we have yet to see any sort of human data when it comes to base editing. For Beam Therapeutics, I'm talking about this company. I'm not talking about Verve Therapeutics, guys. I'm talking about Beam Therapeutics. Anyhow, this does raise questions, but at the same time, I think a lot of people are sort of, staying patient with this company, including myself. I think there's something to be said. There's something about this company that puts it ahead of others in the CRISPR landscape. But ultimately, human data is what I am looking for, which is I am going to be all over that data once it's released. Because, from all we've gathered from the preclinical data studies, this should be, the best technology when it comes to CRISPR-Cas9 versus base editors. The traditional CRISPR-Cas9, first generation of CRISPR. And this is sort of like the second generation, right? The third generation is more like the prime editors, which were not even anywhere close to getting any sort of data anytime soon. But I really hope we can do something about that when it comes to data. I know CRISPR Tommy is beating the dead horse on that topic, but I think at this point it is warranted to mention this a couple of times. So if you're from Beam Therapeutics, if you work there, if you're related to them in any fashion, please do relay the message of getting human data. I think a lot of our investors are looking forward for that. So I'll end this video like this, guys. As always, subscribe if you're not, like this video if you find value, and let me know in the comments, guys, what do you guys think about having no human data, lots of cash in the balance sheet, base editing? Let me know. And again, sorry for no video, guys. I am in Montreal this upcoming week, so I'll see you guys in the next week, a video rather. So I'll see you guys. Thank you.